Hi, it's Allannah. Welcome back to YogaYin. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm going to take you through a yoga for fertility sequence today. This is for a student of mine who's been having quite a number of issues which we might relate to. She's suffering from cold uterus and cold hands and cold feet, so things in the uterus are not moving as they should. It means with menstruation that she's getting painful menstruation and clotty menstruation, and even though she is ovulating, the ovulation is quite clumpy as well. So obviously that's not particularly conducive towards fertility. She's also getting headache and migraine, which would make sense with a liver qi stagnation. So this fertility sequence is going to be working on moving the liver qi and just warming the uterus and warming the body. She did fall pregnant a little earlier during the year, but unfortunately resulted in a very early miscarriage. So if you have any of those symptoms, this sequence is going to be excellent for you. Please keep your feedback coming. I'm loving hearing from you. And on a very bright note, our YogaYin channel has just been voted one of the top 50 yoga blogs on the planet. We came in at number 36, so I'm ecstatic about that. Thank you so much to everybody who supports, subscribes to this channel, gives me such beautiful feedback. It keeps me doing what I'm doing, and I love what I'm doing, so thank you so much. Namaste. Hariam. So for our practice today, I want you to have 2 large pillows if you've got them, or 2 big bolsters if you're lucky enough to have those, and a blanket and a strap or a scarf will do, and also a hot water bottle or a wheat bag for later during our practice. Now we're going to start our practice in Tadasana, standing on the mat, because we really want to get the body moving to move that stagnant liver qi energy. So raise your toes when you're ready and plant them down. Bring your weight forward and lift your heels and plant them down. Good. I want your feet about hip distance apart. So just look down and judge. Most of us think our hips are wider than they actually are. Soften at your knees if you lock them back, and then I want you to draw those knees together. Try and feel a tension at the inner thigh, and then just tuck your tailbone under, and that's going to bring your pelvis into a beautiful alignment. Draw up through the sides of the body rather than your belly. We want the belly to be nice and free. Roll your shoulders back and down. Drop your chin so that you're looking straight ahead, but your neck is nice and long. Good, and I want you to just ground down through your feet. My student is very grounded, so this shouldn't take long. Beautiful. When you're ready, I want you to come up on your toes and raise your arms up and over your head. I'm bringing my hands together in prayer. And I want you to take a few deep breaths here. And then lower back down, but keep your hands in the air. I want you to interlace your fingers, index fingers together. Inhale here, and I want you to fold over to your right. Ardha Chandrasana, half moon pose. Stretching out the side of the body. And inhale, come back to center, and exhale to the other side. And inhale, come back to center and release the arms. Just roll the shoulders back and down. If you tend to hold a bit of tension in your shoulders like I do, roll them back and down. Step your feet out nice and wide. Turn that right foot out and turn your back foot in on a 45-degree angle. If that doesn't work for you with your hips, I want you to step that back foot to where it's comfortable for you. Bring your hands to your hips, turn to face me, and then inhale right from the heart to the fingertips, and exhale, fold forward from your hip, and take your hand down, either place it on your leg or right down to the mat, and bring the other hand to your hip and twist your torso up towards the ceiling. Good. And then raise your arm and breathe into the heart. 5 deep breaths here. Inhale, reach up through your hand. Exhale, look down at your foot and bend your knee. You want your knee directly over your ankle. Bring the hand back down to the hip. Rest your elbow on the knee or bring the hand right down in front of the foot. Take the arm up again. This time, turn the palm, take it up and over and look towards the ceiling. One more deep breath here. Beautiful. Inhale here, reach out through that arm, and exhale, take your hands down in front of you. Bend your knees if you need to here. Make sure the outer edge of your foot is parallel with the mat. And when you're ready, inhale here, and exhale, drop your head down towards the mat. Weight is forward over the toes. If you can move your hands back behind your feet, do so. Beautiful. And then look up and move your hands over to your left foot. And we're going to bring the head down to the knee, like so. Lovely. And then looking up at me again, we're going to bend that right knee and stretch out the left leg, toe up towards the ceiling. One more breath. Good. And then come back to center. Walk your hands over now to the left foot. Inhale here and exhale, sink your head down towards the knee. 5 deep breaths. Beautiful. And then I want you to bend that left knee and stretch out the right leg, toe up towards the ceiling. You're going to find that one side is much easier than the other. 5 deep breaths here. Don't worry if you find this challenging. It is challenging. One more deep breath. Beautiful. And then come back to center. Feet parallel. Drop your head once more. 5 deep breaths here. Great. Now I want you to turn that left foot out. Turn the right foot back in. Move your feet a little bit closer in towards each other. Back foot is at a 45-degree angle. Bend that knee. So we're now going to repeat this on the left-hand side. And I want you to either come up to your elbow and rest here, or bring your hand down, whichever works for you. Take your hand to your hip. Raise your arm up in the air, take it up and over their head, look up towards the ceiling if that's comfortable. 5 deep breaths. And then when you're ready, gently straighten that leg, come up to the fingertips, or rest your hand with no weight on your leg. Bring your hand back to your hip, and then Trikonasana, stretch it up. Open up the heart. Beautiful. Inhale, exhale, look down at the foot. Inhale, come all the way back up to center, and then release. So that should start to get our body feeling warmed up. What I want you to do now is just turn your toes out towards the corners of your mat, and we're going to focus on warming up that uterus. So I want you to bring your hands to your hips, bend your knees so you're nice and comfy, and then I want you to circle the hips. This will release off any tension caused to you by the sequence that we've just done. This is a great sequence to practice before you get your period. Good. And then reverse those circles. And as you're circling the hips, if you can feel anything that feels a bit clunky, it feels like it's just giving you that bit of resistance, not a smooth flow, you know that that's an area that you need to work on. Excellent. If you're feeling very tricky, take it into a figure of 8. So in yoga, we want everything to flow and flow smoothly. Beautiful. Come back to center when you're ready. Step your feet in towards one another. Lots of work on that lower body. Lots of work into the liver meridian. Now we're just going to ease off the body and the spine with a gentle twist. It's going to start in our lumbar spine, lower back. And then we're going to raise our arms up to shoulder height. I'm going to bend my elbow because I'm a bit restricted for room. But you can keep your arms nice and straight. And work into that middle spine, part of the spine which is so very difficult sometimes to release. And then I want you to raise your arms up and over your head and work into the shoulders and the neck, cervical spine. And I want you to slow it right down as you come back down. And come back to a neutral spine. Soften your knees, find Tadasana. Should be feeling very grounded. Feel the weight in the feet, tips of the thumbs, forefingers together over the belly. Close the eyes if you're comfortable. Breathe down into the hands and the belly. Slow the breath. Beautiful. Float the eyes open and then come down to your mat. Okay, so we're going to come down onto our mat in pose of a child, knees out to the side. We're going to extend the arms, fold forward and drop the head. Keep the arms extended so you're working into the shoulder blades. Release your belly. Breathe down into the uterus. Or, as the Chinese like to call it, the fetal palace. Extend your exhalation with each breath. See if you can send the breath right down into the buttocks. And then inhale, look between your hands. Walk your hands back up and then come to a seated position. Use a blanket. Just a thin blanket folded beneath the buttocks. Coming into a comfortable seated position first of all, and then bringing the soles of your feet together. into Baddha Konasana, bound angle pose, and interlacing your fingers either around the toes or around the ankles, whichever keeps your spine nice and straight. And then when you're ready, I want you to sink your elbows down into your knees and then tuck your chin in and then just fold forward. Allow your elbows to put some weight on those knees and just open out the groin. Now, if you can't come very far in this position, please don't beat yourself up about it. Anatomically, this position can be difficult for a lot of people, and it's not about your flexibility. It's about the anatomy of your hips. So please don't feel bad about that. Use your exhalation. Let the belly be free. Three more deep breaths here. Beautiful, and then inhale, raise the head. So we're going to come into eagle pose with the legs. So what I want you to do is just take that left leg underneath you. Take your right over the top, like so. Okay, that's going to feel quite strong into the hips. So I want you to just sit and relax in that position. Good. And then when you're ready, we're going to slide that right hand out. And again, just take that arm up and over, look up towards the ceiling, and you'll feel now that we're stretching right from the hip. And then inhale, come all the way back up to center. Swap over to the other side. So tucking that right leg underneath you, left leg is on top. And inhale here, and exhale, fold to the other side. And then come all the way back up to center and release the legs and take them out nice and wide. Now, Upavista Konasana can be a tricky pose for some people. If you are feeling it in your knees, we don't want that. So I want you to bend up your knees and your pelvis will automatically come forward. If you're feeling it in your groin, that's quite natural. I want you to point your toes up towards the ceiling. So at the same time that we're working with the liver and the gallbladder, we're also working with the kidney. I want you to interlace your fingers, raise them above your head, palms facing towards the top of your head. Inhale here and exhale, fold to your right. And then inhale back to center. Inhaling and exhaling, folding to your right, and now over your right foot. And then inhale back to center. Okay. Inhaling and exhaling now to the left. And inhale. And exhale now to the left and over the foot. And inhale. And now we're going to stir the bowl. Doing so in a beautiful flowing motion. 5 rounds to the other. And then release the arms and release your legs. Some people love Upavista Konasana. Some people hate it, understandably. If you feel it's very difficult for you, then I want you to maintain just that bent knee in that position, which will make it much, much easier. But it's very, very good for the liver and the gallbladder, and that flowing motion is exactly what we want to stimulate. Okay, we're going to come to lying on the back now. Okay, so I want you to lie on your back. Hug your knees into your belly. I'm lying on my blanket because it's cold on this floor. You don't need a blanket underneath you unless it's very cold where you are. And then I want you to just circle the knees. Use your breath. Now this position, Apanasana, is very good for getting things moving in the bowel. And then you want to reverse those circles, just for balance. And then hug the knees into the belly. Just a little tip, if you do suffer from constipation, one way to get the bowels moving is to massage below the belly in a clockwise direction. Good. Now I want you to take your strap or your scarf and extend your legs all the way along the floor. Now, if you're not strong in your lower back, I want you to bend up your left knee here and place the sole of the foot on the mat. Otherwise, keep it nice and extended and strong. I want you to bend up your right leg. Place your strap around the sole. Take the strap in your right hand, and then I just want you to gently pull the leg towards the body. And then we're going to inhale, place our left hand over our left hip, and exhale, open out that right leg. One more breath. Excellent. And then bring it back to center. And now we're going to take the strap in the left hand and take that leg over the body, but don't roll off the mat. As far as you can, keep both buttocks on the mat. Gallbladder. And then bring it back to center. Take the strap in your right hand and move the leg in towards the body. One deep breath. And bend the knee, release the strap. And release that leg all the way down to your mat. See if you can feel the difference in the two sides of the body. And when you're ready, we'll work with the left leg. Bend up the knee, strap around the foot, leg in towards the body, strap in the left hand. Inhale and exhale, out to the side. And then inhale back to center. Strap now in the right hand. Ooh, take it over the body. And then bring it back to center. Now don't forget to notice little things about your body as you're working. For instance, for me, I noticed when I came into that gallbladder stretch that my body had a little bit of protest. So that tells me that there's something going on. In my case, it's that I'm due for my period. Okay, bring the leg back in towards the body. And then bend the knee and release it. Stretch out that leg all the way down to the mat. Couple of deep breaths in Shavasana. Okay, so now we're going to take that hot water bottle or heat bag we prepared earlier, and we're going to take our pillows either side of our mat, and we're going to place this hottie just beneath our belly button. Bring the soles of our feet together. And let the knees rest out to the side just for a couple of minutes. Now if you need a pillow under your head, ideally your chin should be lower than your forehead. So if you do, please place one under your head. Breathe down into that hot water bottle. Feel it rise as you inhale and draw back to the spine as you exhale. And this hot water bottle is serving two purposes here. Not only is it helping to heat, warm the cold uterus, but it is also helping to relax the muscles of the uterus, because when we're cold internally, everything contracts. And that is what can help create cramping when we bleed, and sometimes at ovulation as well if the cold is particularly bad. And it's also what stops the blood from flowing properly. Should feel really good. And then when you're ready, you can float your eyes open. I'm going to come up to legs up the wall. If you want to keep your hot water bottle in this position while you're in legs up the wall, you can. So coming into Viparita Karani, legs up the wall, buttocks in towards the wall, raising the legs nice and high. And just taking a few deep breaths here. Calming down the mind. And then when you're ready, you can reluctantly bend your knees, roll off to one side, and make your way back to a comfortable seated position. Couple of deep breaths now down into the belly. Reflecting on how you may feel differently at the end of the class than you did at the beginning. Beautiful. So that is our Yoga for Fertility class for liver tea, stagnation, and also cold in the body. So a lot of the